this is Christy Falk with Create with Christy. I'm here with another one of my 12 weeks of fall and Halloween. This is the second project, and it's a fall project. It's a cute little treat box that you can use for all your Thanksgiving or fall parties. This love is a cute little pumpkin. The square pumpkins are pretty popular, so everybody should like this. Okay, get started. You want to start off with the 3 5/8 by 3 5/8 piece of pumpkin pie cardstock. I'm going to bring my Simply Scored tool in here. Oops, the little lid opened up. Okay. Now I'm going to score this at 3 1/4 and 3 1/4 all the way around. And I find with lids it's better to do it at the same measurement each time, because sometimes if you end up going a little too far, it may not. This might actually be wider or narrower than what I want over here. So that's why we're going to do the same 3 1/4 all the way around. That way I know they're all going to be the same width no matter what. Okay, now that's done. I'm going to take my paper snips. You can see where the score lines are. I'm just going to cut this little section right here and stop right at the first intersecting score line. Do the same with this side. I'm going to go to the opposite side. So here's where I just cut. I'm going to cut these to the score line. Okay, now we want to narrow these tabs, because when you go to fold them, sometimes the top of the tab might hang above the side of the lid, and we don't want that. So we're going to narrow them up a little bit. So you go in about 1/4 of an inch and cut all the way to the corner score line where the score lines intersect. So all the way to the top. The same here, line it up with that score line. Then you've got a narrower tab. Do that with all 4 of them. This makes it go a lot easier when you go to put it together and you don't have any of the tabs sticking up out on the outside of the lid. If you ever look at boxes, you'll always see when you buy boxes, it'll have the tabs narrower, and that's why they do that. Okay, that's done. Now I want to turn this over so the hump, I guess you want to say, in the score line is up at the top, and fold all of these up. You want to do this first before you go putting it together. Any box, you always want to burnish the folds. That's what this is called. All the score lines, because it goes together a lot better once they've all been folded once. Get all the tabs. Okay, now I'm going to flatten them all out again. Now I want the part that's going to be the outside of the lid to be facing up, and now I'm going to emboss it. I'm going to be using the new 10 tile Dynamic Textures Impressions Embossing folder. It's from the brand new holiday catalog that comes out next week. I just love this. It's my favorite folder right now. Now I'm going to bring the Big Shot in. It's a little heavy. There we go. And since this is one of the thick folders, we only need the Big Shot platform and 1 standard cutting pad. So I'm going to put the lid inside. Put it here, fold in first. You always want it to go in first. That protects the folder. Then the standard cutting pad. Should have put the thing on my turning thing on the other side. Now you get to look at my arm. There we go. Get the Big Shot out of the way. And now the lid's embossed. Now, you'll see why I folded them all to begin with. Once you put it through the Big Shot, it kind of flattens out the score lines, but because I burnished them, now it's just folding right back where they were again. They haven't disappeared. I've made some before where I forgot to burnish them and then emboss them, and it's about impossible to see the score line, and it's a lot easier to score when it hasn't been embossed yet. So we've got that all done. Now I'm going to put some tear and tape adhesive on the outside of these. So you still have the top of the lid facing up. And just put a piece of tear and tape on each tab. Have it start at the score line and go down to the bottom of the tab. And you only need 1 since these are narrower. When you make thicker lids and boxes, a lot of times do on the top and bottom, but since this is narrow, we only need the 1. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put that to the side for right now. Now I've got a piece of early espresso. It's 8 inches long and 1/4 inch. I'm going to bring my Simply Scoring tool back. I'm going to take this out because now we're just going to use these measurements. So you put it in and you're going to score it at 3 inches, 4 inches, and 5 inches. And that's it. Now we're done with the scoring tool. Now when you go to fold this, you want to again have the valleys on top. You're going to fold the middle one like this so it's in half, and then the 2 end ones you're going to fold the other direction. So it's going to be like a mountain fold. So it's going to look like this when you're done, a W. Okay, now you can open that up again. I'm going to put some SNAIL adhesive right here in this middle section, just one of the 1-inch sides in the middle. Close this up so the score lines meet together, and that's the stem for my pumpkin right there. Now I'm going to take a bone folder, and the way you do this, you put the edge of the bone folder on top of the cardstock, and then you take your thumb on the bottom and just slide it across, kind of like you do when you crinkle some of those ribbons for your gifts. This breaks the fibers up in the paper, so that way it'll make nice smooth curls for the vine. So I'm going to do it here on the other side. So you can tell it's already starting to curl. Now I want a sharper curl than that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this and kind of, you could wrap it around something real thin, but since this is so short, I'm just doing it freehand. And that gets you a little vine. I'll do this on the other side. Get all the way up to the stem. Then you can kind of play around with them a little bit, flip them up a little bit. That's the stem with your little vines. Then you want to take a piece of 4 1/4 by 1 3/4 and take a leaf punch. This is garden green, by the way. Punch 2 of the leaves out of this piece. And I'm going to carefully take my bone folder. You want to be really careful because these stems are a little narrow. And just kind of do what you did with the vine a little bit on the leaves, just to curl them up a little bit. So you can tell I'm holding on to the bottom of the leaf. That way I don't rip it off. So that's the trick with that. You want to hold. Because if I were to hold it down here, I'd be ripping those puppies off. And you still need to be careful even when you hold it because it could still happen. There we go. So now those are all ready to go. Now I've got a piece of Very Vanilla. It's 3 inches by 3 1/4. I'm going to bring my banner triple punch in here. And this is narrower than the 1-inch guide in the middle. So what you're going to do is stick this in as far as it can go this direction. And then center it within the guide. It's a little hard to do this at an angle. Usually I have my head over it, but I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, that's a little better. Then punch it, and you've got a perfect banner. I'm going to take the Thankful from the Falling for Leaves stamp set. This is a new stamp set in the holiday catalog too, and it has a matching die set too. So I'll be making a project with that soon. I'll share that with you in the future. But isn't that just gorgeous? I love the fonts on this too. So I'm using the Thankful stamp there. I'm going to ink it up with my Early Espresso ink pad. Just tap it. And stamp this on the right side near where the banner end is. There you go. You want to have it to the right. Now we'll start assembling this. I'm going to bring my lid back, and I'm going to put a glue dot right here near this, where the fold is, right here and right here. And sometimes you kind of have to, I would push hard on the glue dot so it really sticks, and then kind of take your finger and help it come off. Because sometimes when the cardstock's this narrow, the glue dot doesn't like to come up and it ends up tearing the cardstock. So there, now I've got a glue dot right here and right here. I'm going to center it here on my paper. I'm just going to lay it down first before I get it on there permanently. Then when it's at a place where I like, oops, there we go. Then I kind of push it down and put pressure where the glue dots are. So the stem's on. Now I'm going to take a glue dot and I'm going to put it right here where all three of these branches meet, because that's the widest part of the stem part of the leaf. And I'm going to stick this in here. And what I did, I kind of, it's a little hard to tell, I lined the bottom of the leaf stem with the opposite side of the vine. And now I'm going to put the next one on this side going the opposite direction. Just put glue dot in the same spot again. And then put it right here. There we go. Now we've got the leaves on. And I'm going to go ahead and take my Thankful. And I'm only going to go a little ways with the snail. I don't need anything here on this end because it's going to be coming off the side of the lid. I'm going to kind of tuck it underneath the leaf a little bit and make sure you can still see the whole word and stick that on. So there, now it's all ready to go. Now we'll put the lid together. Get my glue dots out of the way. First I'm going to take the paper backing off. Sometimes it's harder to do paper backing when you're on embossed cardstock. I have found that out. So you just keep going to another section until it comes off. There we go. And now I'm going to fold this in, and it's going to get tucked under the inside of this, the side of the lid. And then I'm going to line the edge of the side with the score line of the tab. So it's going to go in like that, and that way I know it's straight. Do that again. Well, yep, I'm finding you want to do the middle of, instead of doing an end, do the middle of the paper backing. It'll come off easier. Line the score line with the edge of the side. Take the paper backing off again. Tuck it in. Get the side with the score line. Then push together. And do the last one. Oops, I keep automatically going to the end. I want to go in the middle. Oop, that didn't work very well. Sorry about this. There we go. Only on live television. Okay. There we go. Now the lid's done. I'm going to put that over to the side for now. Now I'm going to get one of our tiny treat, clear tiny treat box. Say that 10 times fast. When you get these, they've got a film around them to protect them so they don't get scratched up while they're stacked up. I'm going to take this off and discard that. And you see it's flat, and because it's plastic, sometimes it's hard to fold. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this up a little bit and squeeze on the two sides that have been folded flat, and that way I can get the opposite sides folded. And that kind of stretches that one out a little bit. That makes it a lot easier to get the form of the box. Now I'm going to fold every single one of these down all the way as far as they can go, and then bring them back out again. This makes it so that it'll stay closed when you do put it together. If I were to only fold it this much, it would start flipping back up again. So you want to fold it all the way down and then bring it back out again. So I'm going to do that up here too. And I'm going to do the end here. Then fold the lid all the way down and then bring it up. There we go. Now they're all folded. Now we're ready to go. To put the bottom together, first thing you're going to do, you want to take the side that's got the little notch cut out in it, put it down first. Then you're going to take these two sides and see how they've got little tabs up here that kind of go up a little bit. You want to tuck each one of those underneath that opening. There you go. So they're both tucked in underneath that opening. Then you're going to take this one and make this tab go underneath that opening. And it's going to be on top of those side tabs. Oops. Got it in a little too tight. There we go. There we go. All done. And then you go to fill this up with your candy corn, wrong holiday, candy corn, or you can use those fall M&Ms or whatever kind of candy you want to put in it. And you close it up and then pop your lid on. And that's it. I'll bring out the one with the candy corn. It looks a lot cuter when it's got candy in it. I think this would be perfect, like I said, as little favors for parties, fall parties, like if you have hay rides going on, you can give everybody a little treat when they leave. just a cute little project and doesn't take long to put together. I hope you enjoyed my 12 weeks of fall and Halloween project this week. I'll have another one next week. If you'd like to get notifications on when my videos come up, make sure you just subscribe to my YouTube station. You can follow me on Facebook, and you can also follow me on my blog, www.createwithchristy.com. In the description below this video, I'll include all of the dimensions of the cardstock and everything that you need to make this project. And you can also order online at my blog, www.createwithchristy.com, and click Shop Now. Well, I hope you enjoyed the project. Have a good week.